I am absolutely fascinated by the Aimee Lou Wood or whatever her name is, the teeth story. I'm fascinated by it, but not for why you might think. I'm fascinated for what makes momentum today. What makes a story on, I would say normally conventional media, but now what makes a story on this? It fascinates me. There has never been excuse me, anything like this where I am looking at this. Why am I saying this? Recently, I find myself every now and then kind of focused on something. I'll become, I don't know, interested. And I came across Don Hewitt. And Don Hewitt was the genius behind 60 Minutes. And I'm listening. And 60 Minutes, by the way, is down the street. The whole CBS complex on 57th Street is right in the hood. And I was watching this about how he did things and news stories and how Saturday, Sunday night, and how much of what he said then applies now in a very, very weird, very, very strange, very, very actual way. And I'm fascinated by momentum stories. Why does it become a story? And I have my first theory is that there is a low-hanging fruit hypothesis that I have, that in order for you to really make it really work across the board, you have to have a subject that is so simple, so low-hanging fruit, so base that everybody understands it and that there's nothing to it. You need no intellectual heavy lifting, nothing. The best story is a story that is so complicated, but it doubles as low-hanging fruit, if that makes any sense. Do you see what I'm telling you? This story is so interesting because for the first time, people are asking this Aimee Lou Wood. They're asking this story for reasons I don't understand. And it doesn't matter whether I understand it. They're asking the story. Are they being mean? For the first time in a world where we are just, where there's nothing but trolling and mean, we're asking the question, are they being mean? And the story will not go away. It's fascinating from the SNL point of view because they remain somewhat relevant, even though they're being relevant for being mean. But this is fascinating. Remember something. People do not understand the issues. They hate going deep into the issues. Give me an us versus them, good guys versus bad guys, or something so easy that you could be in a coma and understand how this thing works. Absolutely. It fascinates me. And the subsidiary issues are how we are so mean. Everything about our world is mean. We're nasty to each other. We always make fun of each other in the way we look. And I do it too. I have fallen prey to that because it's so easy. There's nothing to this. There's no substance. There's no nothing. It's just, oh, she's got ugly teeth, or she's fat, or oh, this fat woman can't get on a, it's obvious. It's just, and there's no depth. There's no, let's look at what's going on here. And it's so emblematic of how this thing works. This is the way our system works today. We have simpletons. There is an issue going on right now, which I find fascinating. This guy, Dave Smith versus Douglas Murray. The most stupid story there is. Two people arguing about Israel, Palestine, whether it's a genocide, and you've got Douglas Murray, this pain in the ass, effete, just this mouthpiece, and one could argue the other's a mouthpiece as well. But in any event, I say to you, they have been talking about this repeatedly. Have you seen Breaking Points? I haven't seen that in a long time. It was very, very good. I got to say something right now. I like it a lot better with that Grimm fellow, because when maybe I don't know I don't know the ratings or the numbers, but this crystal ball or whatever, it's just no. The issue is so interesting. It's so interesting, but it has a momentum you cannot believe. And when I tell you that, and when I bring it up to people's attention, they really have no idea what I'm talking about, because it's a kind of a niche attitude. It's a niche story. So this topic today is not necessarily the teeth. That's not it. The topic is how things get momentum. And I've been watching this 60 Minutes story, which is so interesting. Did you ever hear the story? And I'm sure you did. But if you didn't, did you ever hear the story about the first debate? The first debate was well, I shouldn't say the first debate, the first TV debate. This is Nixon and Kennedy. And it is an absolute testimonial for what needs to be going on. But before I forget, let me just say this very, 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 very quickly. I want to mention to you, nothing over the top, a great sponsor of ours. I want you to make a note of this. And I'm just going to say this to you. If you are saying, what am I going to do? I'm up to my neck or whatever it is in bills. I am scared out of my mind. What am I supposed to do? Where do I go? Where do I go for debt consolidate? Is that even possible? I don't even know where to start. I don't know where to start. NoDebtWithLionel.com. Would you do me a favor? Would you write this down? Would you take it from me? Go, let them just make a call. Let them talk to you. Because right now, despite all that's going on, there are people who are saying, what do I do? They are trusted, they are legit, and I recommend them. No Debt with Lionel. Is that a deal? That's all I'm going to tell you. That's all I'm going to tell you. They are fantastic. No Debt with Lionel. Period. Okay? Call them. You will feel better, and you'll actually sleep again. Because there's nothing worse than that. I feel, well, those things that are worse, obviously, death of a child. But short of that, let me explain something to you. My world is nothing but one source of fascination after another about what we do and why we do things and why things are. I have been in the information business. It was so funny because yesterday I told you this. Saturday, which is kind of like Friday night, but Saturday and Sunday, 2A to 5A, 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. On WABC, I'm going to be coming back this week. And it's everything is so, since the old days. Numbers, opinion, clicks, hits, metrics, ratings, bop, bop, bop. In the old days, you do a show and you come on and you do it and you go, hey, that's it, everybody. See you Monday. And that's it. Done, finished. There was no internet. There was no web activity. There was no app. It was it. It was it, period. You could do a show at 3 a.m. and it's number one because it's in the world of, all right, so anyway. So it's all about numbers and all about figuring out why people do things. Why people, but trying to have a, dare I say, a concatenation of new technology and the like. Okay. In 1960, whatever, during the Nixon, this is why it's so interesting. Nixon and Kennedy met for the debate. Nixon had no idea about TV. He said, well, we'll do it. He thought it was just a little kind of a, Good Morning Des Moines. Kennedy comes out in this tailored suit. He's 6 feet tall. He looks tan. Nixon had staphylococcus. He had the wrong colored suit. He had a 5 o'clock shadow. They used this this shave stick, which made him look sallow and with a pallor and this wan complected. He looked like he was exsanguinated. It was horrible. He had no idea. He thought nothing of it. He was shifty. His eyes were, he didn't know where to go. Kennedy was there. And they asked Kennedy, do you want makeup? He said, no, that's okay. I don't need any. Because Kennedy had been in California, been in the back of a convertible, and he was tan and this and that. And Nixon said, well, I don't want makeup either, because the word will get out that I use makeup. And this was how simple they were. And it changed everything on that one day. Kennedy was elected by television like nothing else. And also Sam Giancana stealing the Chicago races. But do you hear what I'm saying? It was so important and so critical. And nobody even you mentioned it today. Say, oh. So I sit back and I can watch that because I'm always trying to figure out, how did that happen? Now I understand. Because it started to show us the world of the petty and the simple and the base. ChatGPT is marvelous, kind, patient, insightful. Did ChatGPT write that? ChatGPT blows me away, Raul. Blows me away. Blows me away. So right now we have this story. We have these news. And I could go into, let's say, a news story and say, are you covering the Dave Smith, Douglas Murray? They'll say, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Well, in this sector, it's the biggest story there is. You want to go into a pro-Trump group? Yes. Say this. Or you want to go into a progressive group? Good luck with that. How do you go from room to room to room to figure out how this thing works? When I tell people the story about this tooth thing, this debate, it's so big. It's everywhere. I peruse everything. I spend the day going through everything. What's happened? Where is the story? And how does it matter to you? I'm not going to tell you something you don't care about. There are some things you just don't. This group, this crew, doesn't care about, and there are other groups that don't care about other things as well. They don't want to hear it. What I have, and my issue, is that what I care about, no one cares about. So I'm kind of in the middle. I'm in this weird position now because I got to figure out, okay, what do they like? What do they like? What is it? What works? And how does momentum? It's fascinating. What is it that piques your curiosity? What is it? How much work will you make people do? How much will they go to a nap? Will they do this? You might, because you're more hip to that. Other people don't. And it goes to show you, again, this sketch is still one of the most, and to me, having the professional wrestling, pro wrestling take that I have, it's a work. It's an absolute work. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. People they're falling for this story. It's incredible. They're just, it's, now, I want you to put this aside for 1 second. For those of you who are Lionel Nation members, I have 2 stories, ladies and gentlemen, 2 that are going to be available immediately. Well, a little bit. You'll get this early, as it says, as it is. And this is 2 stories. One, let me see, one here. The first one is the story that is the story that is the story. The Democrats are worried about this Salvadoran killer they're going, I want you to follow this, and I want you to imagine telling people this story. Listen to what I'm saying. The Democrats, listen carefully and do not respond as people want you to do, because your response should not be just I'm going to say something. I want you to think about this. The first question is, do the Democrats know what they're doing? Simple question. Simple question. I want you to think about this, and you are a part of our routine as much as possible. Do the Democrats know what they're doing when it comes to elections? Yes or no? And you're going to say no, they don't. And you're going to say they have no clue. Okay. Marco says they have no clue. Why do they have no clue? How can they not have a clue? How can Democrats who have the same access to, in fact, more to political advice, political analysis, and the like, how can they have no clue? How? Here is this. They cheat like hell. See this? No, we're not talking about cheating here. Do they know what they are doing? Do they know what they are doing? They know what they think they are doing. I don't know what that means. Think about this. Think about this. Angelica says, this is a spiritual awakening. Americans from 18 years and up are asking poignant questions and want the historical truth of our nation, but are objective and remain loyal to our country. Some are. Do you know that there is a huge significant number in the there's a huge significant number of people who are within the Republican Party who themselves are now identifying as being MAGA or MAGA. Did you know that? Did you understand that? So here's the thing. I am asking you, let's say I bring you in and we're at a big conference table and I bring you in, I'm saying, okay, this is my person. We're going to be kind of gearing up towards the midterms coming up. And this is their particular case. What is it other than a bumper sticker phrase? What is it? They are a cornered beast. Not at all. They don't feel like that in the least. Get Out says they know how to tweak words to confuse people. They weaponize empathy. Not even empathy. You're closer to that. See, that was good. See, that was good. That was good because you gave it more than 2 sentences. You thought about that. Because most people, as you can see, most people don't know. You don't know. And I love you, but you don't know. You don't know what you're just, they're bad, they're ugly, they're stupid, they're dumb, whatever. No, yeah, but why? What is it? How does this thing work? Let me ask you a question. Who was it who said, let us send AOC and Bernie to Coachella or whatever it was to speak to these people and talk about oligarchy. Who said that? Who said it? Why did they do this? Why? What was the purpose of that? Did the DNC know this? Would you have advised it? Of course not. Oligarchy. What are you talking about? Oligarchy. Oligarchy? Who's even talking? Nobody even knew. No, most people do not know oligarchy, democracy, ochlocracy. People use the word democracy when we're not a democracy. We're not even close to that. Why would they do that? It seems to me that what they are is a group of people who are almost a fragment within the Democratic Party that act almost as though they are rogue. As though they are rogue. So put that over there. Next, how must be people who were calling for the return of an El Salvadoran MS-13 leader? Charlie says, Dems became complacent and they're rudderless. They became, well, rudderless is correct. They are leaderless. There's one thing which I've noticed, and maybe you've noticed as well. In the old days, they never would talk about somebody else. Republicans could and would talk about other Republicans. They don't like this one. They don't like that one. Whatever the particular reason is. They don't like these people. They don't, whatever the phrase is. Okay. Here's the deal. Now you're having this group of people who represent the Democrats, but they're not showing cohesion. They're showing a split. They might not be talking about each other. Republicans, for the first time, might be from different perspectives. You might have people who represent the right-wing, conservative Christian. You might have the gun group. You might have the libertarian group. You might have the constitutionalist group. You might have the anti-globalist group, the Alex Jones crowd. They're all different. They have different perspectives, but they all meet together and Trump is their guy. Absolutely. It switched now, and they're not talking about anybody else because Trump is the guy. Trump has really solidified. Believe it or not, whether you like it or not, people love the tariffs. Absolutely love something. You know the expression, don't just sit there, do something. Understand this? I love things like this. The love of slaves. I always wonder, why do people write this? When you write something like that, do we know what that means? No. This is like a hodgepodge of incoherent. I mean, it's okay. It's kind of incoherent. What does this mean? BlackRock? ? What does that mean? Who are you talking to? It's like people are just You know what this is? It's mumbling. You know, when you sit there and you say, I don't care what he does, son of a bitch. Who? What? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm talking to myself. What are you talking about? This is mumbling. What are you saying? We're trying to understand what you're saying, and it's like you're just saying I'm not giving you a hard time. You can say whatever you want. It's a free country. But what does this mean? You see what happens is we're just yammering. There's no, I want you to focus on this question. How do you notice what the Democrats are doing now for the first time? They're not cohesive like they were before. They were cohesive. They stuck to the script. Do you understand what I'm saying? They stuck to the script. Now you're seeing Bernie and AOC saying, you know what, we're getting away from these people. We're moving out. We're moving elsewhere. We are moving elsewhere. Do you hear what's going on? Do you understand what's going on? Oh, look at this. Stephen, here we go. A thought. I'm UK. I was told if y'all go Bernie, it would turn into Biden and go wrong. I basically just see young USA Fortnite players ignoring politics. Seems like they just go Obama. Personally, I guessed Trump #1. No idea what that means. I think I do, but I don't know. Sort of. There is a group of people in the Democratic Party who are of the opinion that they do not have to worry anymore about the rules. They don't have to worry anymore about the rules. They think this. Why? Because for the longest time, if you want an election stolen, no problem. You want to do this? No problem. You want to blast the media? No problem. Why? Because we own not the printing press, we own the zeros and ones. We can create money out of nowhere under this old thing, which Doge, and that hasn't stopped, Doge uncovered. USAID was the best. They don't know that they can't spend this money anymore. They feel as though they can do whatever they want. Now, the other thing they did was they didn't realize that they could have maybe done a lot better if Gavin, I'm not sure if Gavin Newsom's going to be the nominee in 2028. I don't know, but he would have been serious. He would have been serious. You had two things. You had a brain dead Joe Biden and a brain dead Kamala Harris. And you would think they would say, we can't do this anymore. So now you have AOC and Bernie. Now think about this. Very young, or seemingly younger, and very old. Automatically, it seems like this is a novelty. They're not to be taken seriously. Democrats want to know specific things. They don't know what oligarchy means. I don't know what that means. It's like sometimes there are folks on our side who say, we got to get after the globalists. And people don't know what a globalist is. They think globalist is good. Now, to show you what they're really doing is, imagine this. You have this fellow. Pilgrim says, we are sick of the MSM balderdash and nonsense. It's not even there. I don't even think mainstream media, it's done. The numbers are collapsing. I don't even know if they're going to even be in business much longer. I really mean that. I really don't know if they're going to do it. I don't know. I don't know if anybody's even not paying attention, but watching like passively. They're not watching CNN to get their marching orders. They're just watching because they're just used to watching CNN. There's no commitment to this. They don't have any worldview. But let me go back to this. Imagine you have a person who comes from El Salvador, and he's a member of MS-13, and he comes here illegally. Okay, you got him? Member of a gang, comes here illegally. It's not an American citizen, went through no process of assimilation or naturalization, or nothing. Okay, fine. Came here. Then, and this is important, then we pick him up and send his ass back. The president of El Salvador says, thank you. We will take care of him. He is our prisoner, our criminal. He's our guy. Imagine if he was Charles Manson or something, even though Manson probably didn't do anything, but let's just pick a name. Ted Bundy. Imagine Ted Bundy goes to France illegally. Ted Bundy, serial killer, goes to France. The French president says, hey, you're not a French citizen, not to mention you're a serial killer. Get the hell out. Sends him back to our country, okay? We say, thanks, France. We're going to put him in Pelican Bay or Supermax or whatever it is. What he's not. That's federal, but anyway. Thank you. Now, France, let's say there's a French AOC says, no, wait a minute. You can't do that. We like Ted Bundy. French court issues an order to America, to an American jail, I guess, to send our criminal back. You would say this doesn't even make any sense. A contingent of French politicians fly to the United States begging to have Ted Bundy released from our custody, serial killer, to go back as an illegal alien to France so that the French people can enjoy this, whatever. Do you understand what's going on here? Does this make any sense to you? Do you dig what's happening here? It's beyond anything I can even imagine. It's insanity. So the Democrats have decided on two instances. Number one, they want to key Teslas, and they've been lumped into this thing, even though they're not all in favor of that. They have certainly demonstrated a significant faction of these people who want to key and set fire to Teslas owned by leftists who don't even understand why they're even doing it. It doesn't make any sense. So that's one group. Then you have the AOC and Bernie group talking about oligarchies. We don't know about that. Then we've got this new group that wants to, they're flying over in this envoy to try to pick up this killer criminal MS-13 person. Now, here's my question. Why? Why doesn't somebody in the Democratic Party say, listen, you do know this looks bad, right? This looks bad. You do know this looks bad, right? Don't you? Yes. This looks bad. Don't you? Yes. Why are you doing this? I don't know. Tell me why you're doing this. What are you doing? What's the purpose of this? I don't understand this. I don't understand how anybody's doing this. Now you can sit here and you can say, well, it's because of domestic terror. No, I'm asking a question. Somebody somewhere is deliberately either signing off on this or doesn't know what's going on. MRO says, on Global Quake, I got charged a 10% tariff on emojis. Okay. Thank you. So here's where we are. This is it. Now, you've got to ask yourself, just like we said before, why did Nixon turn down the makeup? Why are we making such a big deal about the teeth? Why are Democrats doing this? Why, in the name of God, do Democrats do this? How do you explain this? This is what I want to know. Now, there better be something which is so important. And then they bring out Biden. This is the other thing they do, which makes no sense. They bring out Biden. And the part which I think drives me the craziest, the part which drives me the craziest out of everything, is that the last thing in the world they would ever want to do was to have anybody even remember him. But they brought him back to speak again, and he's no better, if not worse. Maybe the Adderall or whatever kicked in. So nothing that they're doing makes any sense whatsoever. None of it. None. It's the most incredible story in the world. And I've got to ask, I ask my Democratic friends, why are you doing this? It's not enough to say, well, we don't like Trump, because people, they won't tell you this, but they will tell you that they like Trump doing something. Now, I want to bring something else to your attention. This is another one of our great sponsors, and we've been with these folks for a long time. My Pillow. The great Mike Lindell This guy has been in the thick of things since the beginning, and he makes the greatest product. Nobody's asking you to say, "Hey, give this guy a break. Send him a couple of bucks." No, the slippers, the robes, the towels, the duvets, you name it, and he's never budged, and he's always been a part. He's a proud American, American made. This is a great product, and I want you, as a loyal member of Lionel Nation, to go to mypillow.com/Lionel, promo code Lionel, or you can call the number that's on here, 800-645-4965. But either way, and you've got to let them know that you support Mike, and then you are going to enjoy a free gift, but buy some of the greatest products that you can imagine. Remember, this is not a charity. This is, they used to be big bins. Remember this in Bed Bath & Beyond, these big things. Until they said, oh, no, we have to be mean to Mike because he's a Trumper. And what would happen to Bed Bath & Beyond? They went south. So that's it, my friends. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. Do yourself a favor. So, going back to what's happening right now. This is the most incredible thing anybody's ever seen. This is, they have learned nothing. And I am telling you, the reason why is if you, for the longest time, have worked on autopilot, where you have believed that whatever you do, it is going to be met with, I don't know what the word is, met with acceptance. A lot. If I told you, listen, when you come to my town, you put this little thing on the back of your car, you'll never get a speeding ticket. Why? Because I paid off the police chief, and don't worry. Well, let's say the police chief's gone now. All of a sudden, you're just used to speeding, and you get ticket after ticket after ticket because you have been so used to it, you've never understood the concept of not getting a ticket. That's the way that works. Do you hear what I'm saying? That's the way that works. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, that is the way that works. Okay? That's all I'm going to tell you. That's all I'm going to tell you. They don't know there's a new sheriff in town. They don't know this. They don't know. The Gorilla Bob says, I believe the Democrats are putting on show by flying to El Salvador. Will President of El Salvador meet with Cory Booker and T-Bone when they arrive? I think he's made it very clear. Very clear. But this is the most absurd. Under what authority? Imagine somebody coming from France and said, we want you to release Charles Manson again from your prison and give him to us so that we can take him back. And we also have a court order from France to you. You would say, what are you talking about? We caught him. He's our bad guy. We're not giving him back to you. What are you talking about? This is where we are with these people. What are they talking about? It's bizarre. It is bizarre beyond bizarre. I can't explain this. Here's a great question. Listen to this. Kim Hall, very good question, says, I wonder what those astronauts that got stuck in space for 8 months thought of Katy Perry kissing the ground after 15 minutes in flight. Try 11. That's another issue. You see, Kim, this is a part of my theme. Why do people not know how they look? Why do people not understand how stupid that is? If you, Kim, were on this thing, wouldn't you say, you know what? It was a great trip. It was fascinating. I enjoyed the ride. And I can't recommend it enough. No, she's talking about training. We're a part of the crew. What are you? And I don't even know who the other people were too. I know it's Gayle King, Lauren Sanchez, and this one. They don't even understand it. And if you sat there and said, Katie, Lauren, Gail, do you know how stupid you look for what you just did? Do you have any idea? You are the ridicule. Do you and they'll say to you, no, I don't understand it. Years and years ago, I was on this cruise, one of the last cruises. Well, years ago. And if you've ever been on a cruise, you sit there and you think, oh, God. You sit in the bingo room, clickety-click, 66, 2 dogs. You just do anything just to stay awake, just to say you're stuck in this Howard Johnson's and bucket. Anyway. So all of a sudden, this woman comes out. Ba, ba, da, 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 on the can. She was wearing a tutu. And she was an older woman. And she came out and she bent over. She basically was like flashing. I mean, she had clothes on, but she was like flashing her. And somebody was trying to get her, but she was like running away. And in the microphone, the person said, if anyone knows who this woman is or who she belongs to, please let us know. And she would go to different events. This woman would like sneak and then run out and then bend over. And they would say, if anybody knows who this woman is. And I thought to myself, I hope I never get to the point where anybody ever says, if anybody knows who he is, please tell us. Stop. He's making a fool out of himself. Please stop this. Please stop doing this. Please. That's what they're doing. They don't understand it. They're the lady with the tutu. They don't get it. Do you understand? They don't get it. They're not understanding. The Democrats understand that America is different since Trump. They didn't even watch the results. He clobbered her. And when you say oligarchy or he lies, it's like, that's not going to do it. You've got to point to something. Is crime up? No, it's down. The tariffs are the greatest thing. Americans feel very simply was this. They'll say, look, I don't know exactly how a tariff works, but at least you're doing something. Thank you for that. Thank you for at least doing something. Period. Thank you for going up against. People recognize that China is, in terms of the government, what they're doing. This is what most people are paying attention to. And it's not the Middle East, and it's not Israel, and it's not Gaza, and it's not the Palestinians. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to my friends who, watch this. Americans don't care about that. They're saying, yeah, whatever. I know what they care about, and I know the issues that matter. You might be different. They're different. There are people talking about, did you see Douglas Murray? Did you see Douglas Murray when he was on with Dave Smith? Did you see? I'm thinking, my God, that's their version of the Tooth Story. People vote for basic things. Pilgrim says, remember Congressman Leo Ryan seeing Jim Jones? Yep. You know what happened with that one? That was Jonestown. It was horrible. So what we need to do, ladies and gentlemen, is we got to understand who's in charge, where is the audience, what are they trying to do, and you got to ask yourself, why in the name of God are the Democrats even doing this? So to my good friends, Pilgrim and the Gorilla Bob and MRO Levon and Charlie Calais and Raul, thank you. Don't forget to follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. She's got a great interview with Jen Coffindaffer, a former FBI agent. Fascinating. Don't forget to follow our Lionel Legal channel as well. And don't forget also to make sure you are subscribed right here to Lionel Nation. Got 2 videos coming up. Join Lionel Nation. Be a member. They're already available for you to see. One on this dirtbag MS-13 feller they want to bring back. The other one is Tish James. Find out what Tish is in some hot water regarding a possible mortgage fraud that the DOJ has been referred to. Did you hear about that? Tish James, the person that went after Trump. If you remember, you can find out about that now. If not, you got to wait. So subscribe to Lionel Nation. All right, dear friends, have a great and a glorious day. We'll see you later. Don't ever change and mean that sincerely. And until we meet again, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Dat.